Hello, everyone, and welcome to Explode Your Coaching Business Show. Here is your host, Simone Vincenzi, and this show is sponsored by GTeX, Growing Together Exponentially. We help you live your purpose, grow your business, and make an impact in the world. And we are live, as you know, every single Thursday at 8 o'clock, bringing you the experts that can share with you some hidden tricks, strategies, and tonight is the one and the only with us, Steve Woody. Yeah.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
You're welcome. Let me make a proper introduction for you. So for those of you that don't know Steve, he's the founder of Online Mastery and the international best-selling author of the book, Plan Your Website. Show us the book, Steve. Exactly. Highly recommended. Because Steve's passion is really helping other people, helping entrepreneurs, having the time to do what they love and when they love it through having a website that can work 24/7, where people can join your courses anytime at any hour without you putting the work in, or actually putting the work in only once, which was time and time and time again. And Steve is one of my best friends as well. He is not only built our website where we had incredible results. This is why I wanted him in the call tonight, but also is a person who really, truly loves giving and loves connecting, has the heart in the right place. So thank you very much, Steve, for being here today.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
You're welcome. So for those of you that don't know you, just tell us a bit more about you before we got into really like the juicy stuff.
What do you want to know, man? Yeah.
What got you to do what you're doing right now? What made you passionate about building?
Okay, that's a good question. What got me to do
building website? Right? So, really? Is that exciting?
3 or 4 years ago, I had an identity crisis and I needed a job. And I didn't want to go back to work, so I decided to set up a company called Steve Woody Limited because I thought once I've got my name, no one can take that away from me. I realized that was a pretty stupid move because if I want to sell it, no one's going to buy my name. So I rebranded to Online Mastery, and I've spent the last 3 years pretty much 24/7 just fully immersing myself in online. I've been building websites now since I was in school, but more for like fun and for hobbies. And then in 2011, I declared myself homeless. That was the 3rd time I'd done that. I lived in a car for 6 months, and without boring you with a backstory, after I come out of the army, it was just a bit of a struggle. So I found a passion within like building websites for people, and I enjoyed it. And the problem I had was not building the websites. The problem I had was the clients. I was picking really bad clients. Not you, Simone, because obviously when we built your site, that was good. But initially, when I got into the process, I was picking some pretty bad clients. And then
you met me and your life changed.
I was working for free a lot of the time, and I wasn't paying my rent yet. I was working a full sort of 60, 70-hour week and not getting paid for it. And I was delivering so much value. It was stupid. And I just didn't value myself at all. And so I ended up getting in a real bad position. So I started to question what I was doing, why I was doing it. And it led me to realize that I was actually doing the wrong thing and I shouldn't be building websites. My actual skill set lies more in the strategy and teaching people how to build websites. And so that's what I do. I wrote a book which teaches people how to plan their website. And then I've got a course that shows them how to build a website. And I empower business owners and entrepreneurs how to build their own website, or at least how to get the right strategy in place, so if they hire someone, they get the website they need rather than the one they think they want.
Which is incredibly important to reiterate on this process, because I remember the first website I had said, oh yeah, I have a website. And it didn't work at all. The fact is that a website without a strategy is like having a business without a product.
And this is, I mean, I've invested a lot of time and money on myself recently in sort of life coaches, business coaches, and things like that. So I'm learning a lot more now. I mean, I've upped my game. My level's just gone to a sort of, it's gone to sort of new heights where I'm sort of serious now. Before it was like, oh yeah, this could be a business. This might be a business. And I was doing okay, but I was never really professional, shall we say. But now in the last sort of 12 months, I mean, the results that I'm getting for clients is just phenomenal. One of my clients, she spent $14,000 1 year with a coach trying to unlock what she needed to get online. And I spent an hour with her, and I managed to do more in an hour than he did in a year. And that just gives you an idea of, it's, you know, you could hire a coach, that's fine. But if you don't hire the right one, you're going to waste your money and your time.
I completely agree with you. And personally, the experience that I had by working with you in all the process of building the website, all the strategy behind that was really, I think, core for the growth, the explosive growth that we had this year within GTeX. So this is why I really wanted you to share with our audience the magic that you gave us. A bit like, you know, when you have like your fairy sprinkle magic, it's like, sprinkle a bit of the stuff on us, please.
I tell you what, I didn't believe in myself for a long time. And now, not even through myself, but through sort of success stories through clients, I have no option but to say, look, I'm not being arrogant, I'm not big-headed, but I'm just bloody good at what I do. And I am, and I know I am, and I respect the fact that I've spent a long time learning this. You know, it's taken me, like, people say, oh God, you're so lucky. Oh, it's really lucky that you know what you're doing. I'm like, lucky? It took 20 hours a day, 7 days a week for 3 years to get this lucky.
Yeah,
people don't see
like
that.
The idea of an overnight success happening after 10 years of work.
Exactly. And then I mean, look, I am where I am, and I mean, the best thing I can do now is, and look, I'm going to be brutally honest here. Look, I'm positioning myself and getting myself out into the world, and things like this, helping you, by me helping other people. If I deliver enough value like tonight, then the people that are watching this are going to go, oh, he knows what he's talking about, or they're going to go, he was a bit of an idiot. But I mean, the whole idea here is that if I give the right amount of value, then people are going to like what they hear. They're going to want to know more. And look, it's a business at the end of the day. It is a business. But the whole idea here is, by me sharing my business helps you build yours.
I completely agree with everything you're saying. And this is part of the strategy that we are going to share also tonight on how can you guide your customer, how can you get more customer, and how can you make the customer that you have even happier. So for those of you that are live, remember that if you can click with your arrow of the mouse on our faces, you can give us props. So I'll give Steve some props.
Oh, let me give some of that.
If you like what you say, yeah, you click in there. Oh, yeah, exactly, and you can see it.
Hold on a minute.
That's something, because we are going to give you the more props we have.
Give me some love, people.
Yeah, the more props we have, the more content we will deliver.
Nice.
And also, at the end of the blab, we are going to leave 10 minutes for those of you that are watching live to also come live with us and ask live a question. So come in the room with us, ask a question live, or write a question. And anything that you want to ask, please write it down. To write a question that goes in the board on your left side of the screen, you can put /Q. So if you type /Q and then the question, /Q and then the question will go. Steve is getting intrigued because you can see that he loves technology. So the first time he's here, he's like, oh, I'm excited now.
What am I doing? I've broken it.
Okay, right now, the question that I have for you, Steve, is we are talking about client automation and getting clients in an automated way. And I had a Skype conversation with you before. And then you said a lot of people talk about that, but there is something wrong just focusing on that part.
Totally.
Can you expand a bit more on that process? Because I was like, oh, I didn't think we were going down this route.
I will, but I'm looking at the moment, and you got 92 likes, and I've got 60, and I'm not speaking until mine's above yours.
Okay.
I'm joking. I'll speak. Yeah, so look, I mean,
94.
There's a lot of people out there that tell you how to get more customers and how to get more business and how to get more people and that, and there's so much of that out there that I just feel like I'd be just regurgitating stuff that you can already find out. So I'd rather take a different angle. And what I'd like to talk about is, because here's the thing, I can pretty much guarantee, unless you're at the very start, if you're at the very start, then obviously this might not appeal to you in the same sense. But if you've got a business or if you've got some clients, you can pretty much guarantee that if you went back and nurtured them, there's probably repeat business there. You know, when people come to me and they say, oh, I need to get more money, or I need to get more, I need to get to the next level in my business. The first thing we normally do is revisit the existing business and look at how we can, it's like if you get a bucket and, you pour water in the bucket, if it's got holes in it, that water's going to leak out. So the first thing you want to do is plug that bucket. You know, you want to make sure there's no holes in it so that when you do start putting people in, they're not going to fall out. So I would say that the first thing you want to do is look at your systems. Yes, granted. But the next thing you want to do is you want to say, right, rather than sort of going out and just attracting, because everyone's like, oh, I've got this website and I need to go and market this website so that I can get people to come to my website. But if your website isn't converting people into customers, from visitors to customers, then all you're doing is throwing money or time and energy at people that are going to come to your website and they're just going to go straight through the holes. So the first thing we've got to do is look at how we can plug up those holes and how we can make this system automated, but also automated so it converts. I mean, at the end of the day, if you've got a website, the whole purpose of having a website is because it's a business. Okay, and if you've got a business because you've either got a product or a service to sell, and you need to make sure that when you're online, that your website is doing as much of this heavy hitting for you as possible. Yeah, I mean,
agree with you.
I automate a lot of my business, but that doesn't mean that I'm not involved in it. You know, I set a lot of my business up and automate it so that I can actually be more hands-on. See, a lot of people think, oh, if I automate my business, then I can go and sit on a beach somewhere. It does not work like that. You cannot leave a business. No matter how much you automate it, you can't leave it. You need to be involved in it. Because, and here's the thing, if you go onto my website, maybe not now because I'm here, but 9 times out of 10, if you go on my website, I'll be online. And if I'm online and you send me a message through my online chat, I will answer it. To the point that I have a lot of people going, is that you, Steve? Are you answering your own chat message? Because people just expect other people to do it or to have a team in place. They don't expect me to be there. But I'm like, well, that's the bit of my business that I love. So why would I not be there? If I have a chance to engage with people and to talk to people and to communicate with people, because look, people don't buy my business. People don't buy my brand. People buy me.
And this is something I want to stop you there because we've been sharing right now so far something which is really crucial. In any business, people buy you. People don't buy the business. People buy the entrepreneur behind the business, and then they buy the business. In particular, in this industry, personal development, speaking, consulting, training is a personal branding industry where you are the person that people buy, either because they want to have similar results that you had, or they want to have similar results that you had with your clients, or because they want to have those results. And in particular, they like you. They want to be with you. They want to be about your energy because you have something magnetic about yourself.
And this is it. And this is one of the things that it's difficult because depending on who you are and what you do is going to greatly affect how you do it. And so there are some people that don't want to put themselves out there, and that's absolutely fine because a person can buy into a person or they can buy into a brand as such. You know, we know Virgin is a great brand. You know, and we buy into Virgin, but what are we really buying into Virgin or are we buying into Richard Branson? You know, and sometimes it's a bit of both, but you need to understand what it is you're buying into. And you need to understand not only what it is you're buying into when you're buying into these things, but when you're selling these things, what is it you're selling? What are other people buying into? Because here's the thing, it's very easy to set a system up and then to not appreciate the person that's going through that system. And that's one of the first things you need to do is if you've got a website, before your website even goes live, you should be your first customer. You should go through your website. You should check out, you should purchase your own product, and you should see what other people are going to experience. What emails do you get? What page do you get taken to? How many clicks does it take you? How awkward is it? You know, and I'm not talking about from someone who knows what they're doing. I'm talking about from someone who has no experience. Try and put yourself in the shoes of, like, what I've always been told is if you can explain it to a 6-year-old, that's what you really need to do. You need to understand that the people that are going to come to your website are not necessarily going to understand what you're going to do. They're not going to understand terminology. They're not going to understand some of the phrases and concepts that you use. So at the start, specifically, you may need to dumb it down a bit to make sure that people understand it. But I know so many people that fail on this simple hurdle, and that's just purely language.
I definitely agree with you in terms of make it simple. So the question that I want to ask you before we look at how do you maximize the customers that you already have? Because as you said, you're already sitting on a gold mine.
Well, this is it. And I think...
So before that, something that I would love to ask you is, okay, I'm completely new. and I know you're great at this. I want to build a website that converts, that shows my personality, shows what I do. Okay, in my first page of the website, if I have to put 3 things that you will say these are the 3 musts that you should have in there.
Yes.
So that make it simple for everyone here in this room. I don't know anything about website. What are my 3 musts to have in my website at the beginning?
So this is a bit of a loaded question, because I will answer that question for you, but I need to pre-frame it.
Go for it.
And the reason I need to pre-frame it is because you're talking about 3 things that you need to put on your website. And there is a whole array of things that you need to consider before you even think about building your website. So what I would say to you, and this is exactly, and this isn't a plug or anything, but what I'm saying in my book is there are 10 steps. There are 10 things you need to know. There are 10 chapters of the book. It was kind of planned that way. But there are 10 things that you need to do before you build your website. So saying about what are the 3 things that you need on your website.
In this instance, what I will ask you is, what are 3 things you need to consider before?
Okay, so 3 things you need to consider before. Very good question. The first thing you need to consider is, who are you? Who are you as a person? Who are you as a business? Who are you as someone who's going to show up in the world? Because people buy you. So you need to know first and foremost who you are. If you don't know who you are, how can you expect other people to know, like, and trust you? So you need to know who you are. The second thing is you need to know who your target audience is. Because when you know who you are and you know what you're doing and what you do, then you know who you're targeting. There's no point saying, oh, I'm targeting everybody, or who's your audience? Oh, everyone, anyone, whoever comes. It's never going to work. And I'll give you an example quickly on this one. I have, hey, James. I can see James or Samuel. James and Samuel.
James Samuel.
James Samuel. Hey, James. I would say that the first thing that you need to consider, and this is a real example, is who your target audience is, to the point of, I had a friend of mine who's a photographer, okay? And he said that he wanted to go into business. Now, he had a job, but he wanted to start his own business. So I said, all right, what do you want to do? And he said, I want to get into photography. I said, brilliant. I said, what sort of photography? He's like, I just want to take pictures. I was like, no. What do you like taking pictures of? And he's like, oh, he thought about it. And he was like, animals. Brilliant. All right. So now we've got a niche. Now we've gone from everyone to animals. That's sort, that's, we're not taking pictures of babies. We're not taking pictures of landscapes, animals. So we've got to focus. Great. So what animals? It was like, well, dogs. Brilliant. Dogs. Now, even further, right? You're just focusing on people that have got dogs. Can you see how you're sort of niching down and being more specific? So I said, right, well, what sort of dogs do you want to take pictures of? I'm like, do you want to go to Crufts and take the poodles that are sitting on and he's like, well, no, he said, what I love doing is going to racetracks. And then people can take their own dogs to racetracks and they let their dogs go around the racetracks and chase the hare. And I love taking pictures of dogs that are like running through fields. I love getting these action shots of dogs. I was like, well, there you go, mate. Action shots for dogs. There you go. You're a dog photographer. And you take action shots for dogs. There's your brand. There's your business. And he's niched himself as a dog photographer. And now he has people who are contacting him saying, can you come and take photos for me? And also recently, when he was on holiday, he sent me a message and he was like, Steve, I've just had a sale through my website. I'm getting paid to be on holiday. That's what I'm talking about, because what he does is he takes his photos at his event, he hands out all these business cards, then he uploads all the photos to his website. People go on his website, they look at the photos of their dogs. People want to buy pictures of their dogs, so they purchase it. And it's all done automatic. So that's what I'm talking about when I say automation. How to automate the business so that it works for you. And he can just focus on the customers and having the interaction with the customers. Once he's uploaded the photos, they can go and buy it themselves, which means that they're not reliant on you. They can do it in their own time. They can do it as and when they want. As many people can come as you want. It's scalable. Because whilst you are a linchpin in your business, it's not scalable. Because there's only so many hours in a day that you have to communicate with people, that people have to come through you. So you need to look at how to be scalable. And to be scalable, you need to automate. So I would say that's the second thing. First thing is to know who you are, who your business is. Second thing is to know, well, who your target audience is. You need to know who your target audience is. And the third thing that I would say is that once you've got your, you know who you're talking to, and you know who you are and who you're talking to, then you need to look at what systems you're going to use. And in terms of, you don't want to have a square peg and try and put it in a round hole. There's no point going onto something like Theme Forest, buying a theme, installing it, and then trying to get it to work the way you'll get, I want it, this doesn't do what I want it to do. Oh, do you know what? I'm just going to settle and have it how it is. You need to have the flexibility to do what you need to do, not what it allows you to do. Okay, and this is one of the biggest problems that I see with people, is that they hack systems together. And they throw loads of things together and they hack it all together, and then they've got this balancing act, and then it gets hacked, or it crashes, or someone gets lost in the system, and then they don't understand. So really, everything needs to be stripped back, needs to be made really simple, to the point that it is so simple that a 6-year-old could use it. Then you can scale up.
Brilliant. That's fantastic. So simplicity really here is the key, making it simple. And I agree with you. Like in particular, I remember, and first of all, if you're a coach or a speaker, trainer, and you don't have a website and you're just relying on a business card, you're out of business already. That's the reality.
There's a lot of ways that you can market yourself. And you need to, and people are being creative with this. But the problem is that people look at all these things. Oh, I need a business card. Oh, I need a flyer. Oh, I need to do. Oh, I need to.
But the first place where people go is actually to Google your name online.
Pretty much, or they'll go to LinkedIn, or they'll look at you on Facebook, whatever they're using. Absolutely. And this is the thing, is that I know people that have been very successful without a website. It's true. You don't need a website per se, but at the end of the day, a website is going to be a huge attribute, an asset to your business. And it should be one of many things that you use. You shouldn't just market in one place. You should look at all the things that you can do, and you should do a little bit of each of them. And the reason that you should do that is because you'll start, like, the more you do on a regular basis, the more you'll build it. If you spend your entire time on Facebook and then all of a sudden Facebook stops working, then you've got to go and build something from scratch somewhere else. You've now got to go and create a Twitter profile, and you've got to build up that following on Twitter. And that's going to take time. Whereas if you do a little bit continuously on both, then what you'll find happen is you won't have as many people on one, but if something happens to one, then you've already got a following and a foundation on another one. And so
I definitely agree with you. This is why, for example, with GTeX, we are having the Blab Show. We are on Periscope. We are on Twitter. We are on YouTube. We are now starting the podcast because I'm thinking long term. I might have maybe 10 followers, 11 followers, 100 followers, 600 followers, 1,000 followers somewhere, which is maybe considered to many people are not much. However, if something happens to one of these platforms, or I'm thinking fast forward 5 years time, these are all compound, and all I'm doing right now in my podcast, that will stay in 5 years time. All I'm doing right now on Blab will stay in 5 years time. All I'm doing right now on YouTube will stay in 5 years time.
Well, you're doing content creation at the moment, and this is so important because all of the audio videos, look, if you go back a generation or two, look at our parents and our grandparents. They were taught pretty much, well, in the UK especially, I can't say for other places in the world, but in the UK especially, people were taught that if you want to be successful and if you want security, then you need property. You need to get a house. And it was like, you need a mortgage. You need to go out, you need to get a job, you need to get a mortgage. You got a mortgage, then you're successful. And that's how they were brought up. That's how they were educated. Whereas we know now that property, whilst is still good for, in its own right, it's the new type. Like we're in an evolution now. We're in a new world where it's not just having brick and mortar, it's intellectual property. Yeah. And intellectual property is what is really going to make the difference as we move forward, because what we've got going on now is there's an abundance of content on the internet. There's so much information is a new currency. Yeah, it's true. It's absolutely true. There is so much content out there now. We are drowning in content. And what we're doing now is it's got to the point where we have to look at what content is out there and how we can add context. Mm-hmm. So it's no longer about what you're saying, it's how you're saying it and how relevant it is to the market you're saying it to.
Yes.
It's got to be contextual.
This is something really important.
Oh, totally. This is everything.
Context. Because, for example, I don't know if any of you use Hootsuite. Hootsuite is a great tool where you can automate your social media and you can broadcast one message to all your accounts. It's great whether you're on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. However, the mistakes that I was making before I used to use the same type of message to all the different platforms, but I forgot about the context part. Which different platforms have different languages.
Absolutely. And how you talk on Twitter is very different to how you talk on Facebook.
Exactly. Facebook, you'll have a very good connection, a longer post, something which is personal.
Absolutely.
Pictures of cats and dogs and what you do during the weekend. And even this is a like slow promotion of your business. And then on Twitter, then no one cares. On LinkedIn, if you put a picture of yourself with your six-pack, they're going to delete you.
Exactly. Why? Because I mean, everyone on LinkedIn wants to know business. Everyone on Twitter wants, everyone on Facebook. So it's, you know, same on Pinterest, Instagram. There's so many different avenues, and you do. And the thing is, if someone subscribed to you across every channel, they don't want to see the same message. They don't want to see the same message on every channel because it's going to get boring. And it shows that all you're doing is just, and so many people do this because one, they're lazy, and if they're not lazy, they don't have time or they don't have the content. See, what I do for my content, I mean, do you want me to share my content process?
Go for it. So let's go now for the content process. And then after we go on, we talk about the clients that you already have. What can you do to improve the relationship?
Yeah, I mean, I want to talk about the onboarding process. So
the onboarding process.
How you engage with them in them initial stages.
Exactly. And guys, for those of you that are here live, right now, if you're enjoying this blab, please share it on Twitter and Facebook. You can find the links on your left. Make sure you share it so we can have more people. The more people, the more the fun, and the more people we can help. Thank you very much, James, for sharing. Really appreciate that. Steve, go on. Your turn.
Well, what I would say is that so the first thing, before we go into like the whole sort of talking about the customer journey and things like that, I just want to talk a little bit about content, because what you should do, in my opinion, is once you know who you're marketing to, once you know who you are, once you know who you're marketing to, you then need to get content out there. You need to get your content out there. You need to get your systems in place, because what will happen, and this happened to me recently, is if you get some exposure and people come to look at you, if you don't have the systems in place, they're going to fall through the cracks. They're going to disappear. They're not going to hang around. And it happened to me recently. I had a blog article that was published on me. It was like 2 or 3 days ago now. It was Monday, actually. Sorry, Monday evening, 8 o'clock, I had a blog article published on me. And I had thousands of people on my website. And I had nearly 1,500 new subscribers to my CRM overnight.
Wow.
This was just from one blog post. One blog post. And you just never know when that's going to happen. You never know when you're going to have a celebrity tweet about you. You never know when you're going to have a big company mention you and it's going to blow up. And I tell you what, if you have like what I had, I mean, I had a webinar, which I did it was Tuesday. So I had a webinar on Tuesday night. So I had 1,500 new people on Monday. And then on Tuesday, I did a webinar. I had 500 people on my webinar. And at the end of the webinar, lots of people connected with me. There were people sending me messages through my Facebook. There were people sending me messages through my website. There were people sending me emails. There were people buying my book and buying things from me. And so what happened is I sat back and just watched everything just go. And if I didn't have my systems in place, it would have completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have been able to look after those people. But because I had those systems in place, everyone went through a nice process. And I got to talk to the people that I needed to talk to. It worked really well. And so what I do, this is my process for content creation. And James, I will answer it for you in just 1 second.
And then we have a question from James later on how often do you post? But let's go on.
Well, this is what I'm going to mention now, because
go for it.
On the content creation, what I like to do is the last day of the month. So the last day of the month is blocked out for content. Okay.
Yeah.
And I use an app called Wunderlist. If anyone knows of it, if you don't, I mean, there's other apps about there, but I use Wunderlist. And what I do is I have content creation, and every time I have an idea or a thought or something, I think, oh, that would be good, I just write it in there. And I have a list of all these different things. You can use pen and paper, whatever works. And so what I'll do is at the end of the month, I'll sit down on the last day of the month and I'll look at the climate in terms of what's going on in the industry, what's going on in the news, what's going on, and I'll get a feel. And let's just say, for example, Sony just got hacked. then I may decide to piggyback on that trend and do a month's article on security. So, and it depends, you know, or if something says like, you know, oh, all the WordPress websites are really, really slow, then I may do an article on performance. You know, so I will look at whatever I have on my list or whatever's happening in the world. If nothing's happening in the world, then I'll just pick something on a list that I think's going to work. And so I tend to have about at least between 1 and 2 years worth of content, like subjects. And then once I've used one, I'll put it to the bottom of the list and I'll just keep going up. And that's my sort of my idea. Then what I'll do is once I've picked that subject, so it's the last day of the month when I pick that subject, so I'll say, right, I'm going to talk about this. What I'll then do is break that down into four subcategories. Okay, and I'll pick, so let's just say, for example, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk about sales. So I may do sales page, how to build a sales page. I may do how to create the funnel, the sales funnel. I may how to do e-commerce, and I may do, you know, how to support afterwards. It could be whatever. I'm just using this as an example. And so then what I would do is once I've got my 4 categories, I'll then record a video. I'll sit like this exactly as I am now, and I'll do between sort of a 3 and a 5 minute video. And I will just talk about what I know about that subject. And then what I'll do is at the end of that, I will send it off to rev.com and they'll transcribe it for me. They charge $1 a minute. So if I've got a 5 minute video, I've got 4 videos. That's 20 minutes. That's $20. Then what they'll do is pretty much within the same day, normally in a few hours.
Stop that. I'm interested in this. Rev.com.
Rev.com. REV.com. Then what you do is you send the videos to them. In fact, if you've got like an iPhone, there's actually a Rev app. You can actually do it directly to the app. But I recommend you do it properly like this. And then you send a video to them. They transcribe it for you, send it back to you. You then upload the transcription with the video into YouTube. What you then do is you write a blog article. And if you don't want to write a blog article, you give your video to a content creator and say, here, make a blog post around that. And you've given them, so all you've done is spent 20 minutes creating your content. Now you've got a content creator who makes an SEO friendly, based on your keywords, article that you have.
And for those of you, so for those people that don't know what SEO is, just because
search engine optimization. So basically, when you go to Google and type something in, you type in a word. And the idea is that you want to have those words so that when people type them in, you show up. And the reason you do that is if you've got a lot of words within the content. Now you can't just keep using the same word. Google's clever. You've got to create the content. So what you do is you've got your video. You've now got a blog post. What you do is you put the video in the blog post. You link on YouTube to the blog post. Do you see what I mean? And then you've also got a video. So you've linked the two together now. And then what you do is you have your blog post that goes through and people can comment on that. And that way you can build engagement. Then what you can also do is you take snippets out of the video. You can take screenshots out of the video. You can find other images that relate to whatever you're talking about. You take snippets out and you load them up into your social media. And what you do is you use something like Hootsuite. I use CoSchedule. It's what I personally use because you can link it all in the social media channels to the blog post itself, and it ties it all in together. And then what you do is you say, right, I'm going to send this out on Twitter, this out on Facebook.
Is the Nextschedule paid? Is that a free service? How does it Nextschedule
There is a free version, but I use the paid version. I tend not to use free versions for most things anymore because I like to get the benefits and the extras. So there is a free version. I don't know.
For example, if someone is starting out, would that be worth even starting with a free version and then upgrading it?
Look, I mean, it depends what you're doing. I mean, if you've got a business, you've got a business. If you've got a business, you need a budget. If you haven't got a budget, you haven't got a business. You've got a hobby. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But just be honest about where you are. If you've got a hobby, then no, you probably don't need these systems. If you've got a business, then absolutely you need these systems. It just depends where you are. So what I would say is that once you've got that content loaded in, that's it. You've probably spent, depending on how much time you want to spend, you could probably spend about between 2 to 4 hours a month. And you've got your entire month's worth of content fully loaded, ready to go, scheduled.
And that's great. And this is what I'm hearing you saying, which I love, is doing one thing once and repurpose it multiple times.
Like with a testimonial. If you get to, if you have everything you should do in your business shouldn't be about you. It shouldn't be about you telling people how good you are. It should be about other people telling other people about how good you are. Sit there, great company, and everyone loves it, but that's Simone. When I turn around and say, you need to go and check out GTeX, have a word with Simone. His company is amazing. Honestly, if you go, you're going to have an amazing, you're going to love it. I've been, it's brilliant. I love it. I highly recommend it.
I definitely agree with you in this.
Of course you do. But my point is that
yeah.
It's got more authority coming from me because I'm not related to it. This is why I don't like affiliates, because I think that affiliates are warped because they're doing it for financial gain. So if you've got an affiliate to something, they're always going to tell you positive because they want you to go and buy it. That's why I don't use affiliate links. I might cloak them in some of the things I do, but I won't actively go out and promote affiliate links. I think it's a biased opinion. I think if you have a genuine, honest, natural opinion of something, people are much more likely to relate to that.
Brilliant. I think it's beautiful. And we have a question back from Sam that he said already, how do you schedule? And we have that already from James. And then I know some big players like Grant Cardone and Les Brown send out daily.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people. You look at Gary V, you look at Les Brown, Tony Robbins, all these people. I mean, they have content teams that work for them that churn out this content that's continuously going around. But I mean, this is where I like to challenge the status quo a little bit, because yes, getting content out there is important, being noticed, it's important, but you can drown in content. I would rather post something once a week that's meaningful, that has an actual impact on someone's life, rather than some stupid meme that just wastes time. It's just my personal opinion.
Definitely.
My personal opinion. And if I'm going to deliver some content here, I want it to be impactful.
And also something that you said before is that they have those kind of people, Grant Cardone and Les Brown, they have a content creation team.
Yeah. Oh, they don't touch their own social media.
To create content every single day. So when you have a team, you can afford that. But if you are by yourself, sitting down and shooting a video every day, writing a blog every day, that's about 3, and uploading them and scheduling it and doing the social media, 5 hours a day just gone in there.
Because I'll tell you what will happen in that instance is you'll spend all your time marketing and none of your time closing people. Boom. And then what will happen is you'll market, and you'll go, I need some money, and you'll go close. You go, I've got no money. Market, and you're gonna. I'll tell you what. After that, for what you get knackered. It's too much. Little bit of marketing, little bit of closing, little bit of this, little bit of that. You want to just do a little. Remember what I said? A little bit of both.
I'm very familiar with that. I used to run GTeX like this: market, and then just focus on that. Or system, and then no closing, and then oh my god, no new clients for a month. Go, close, and then I got about like 60 clients in a month. Okay, I'm happy now. Okay, market.
And this is it, mate. This is it, and the thing is that the thing is, it's so simple. There's one word that sums all of this up. Balance. You need balance. It needs to be sustainable. There is no point doing something if it's not sustainable, because you're not going to enjoy it and you're not going to be able to keep doing it.
Brilliant. And I love that. So guys, for those of you that have joined just right now, you're watching Explode, your coaching business show. Here is Simone Vincenzi with Steve Woody, founder of Online Mastery. Exactly. You make sure you give props, so you tap with your mouse our faces, and you can give us props, and also you can share it this way on Facebook and Twitter on the left side of the screen so we can have more and more people here and more questions. If you have any question, make sure you write this down, the question in the chat box. And before we move on the next part, where I'm going to drill you, Steve. I'm going to drill, not physically. I'm going to drill Steve on realize the customer. The first part of how do you connect and deal with your customer when the customer onboarding process. Before that, I would love to ask you something that goes off topic completely. What is the weirdest thing you've done in your life, Steve?
What's the weirdest thing I've done in my life?
I like just throw like a random question at you.
Weirdest thing.
And I know some of the weird. We have already this conversation, so I know a few of them. I'm wondering which one you're picking up right now.
I don't know, man. That's a curveball and a half. The weirdest thing I've done in my life. I mean, I've done some weird shit. I don't know, man. That's a really tough one. That's a tough one to answer. I mean, I remember when I was in the army once, and we were in Blandford, which was one of the camps down near Salisbury, and we were really drunk. I mean, we hadn't been allowed to drink for 3 months because in training you're not allowed to have anything to drink, and then you get one weekend in the middle where you're allowed to go home. So I remember after 3 months, we went down a pub and we pretty much got drunk on 2 or 3 pints. And so there was a group of us, and I don't know why, but we just decided that we didn't need our clothes anymore. And all I remember is us walking back to camp, and it's probably about a 3-mile walk, and we all did it naked. And I just remember the CO of the camp driving up in his car. And yeah, it was that was pretty weird. Just a group of men just walking down the road naked is kind of a weird thing to do on a Tuesday night or whenever it was.
It is, but hey, yo, life is life, and every interesting story doesn't start with I was so sober that
I had a salad and then
I had a salad and then
I don't know. So random. If you're going to throw a curveball at me, I mean, that's there's probably some weirder stuff that I've done, but not that much.
No, I actually didn't know this one. Thank you. I know a lot of other weird stuff, but not this one. So you made my night, mate. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, now that we do customer onboarding. What does this mean, and why is this so important?
So when people come and find you, you need to make sure that the first thing you do when they come to the website is you need to start building rapport with them. Okay, so the first way you can do that is that you have what's called a landing page, or a page where people land on your website. Your homepage of your website can be generic, but everything on your website, every page on your website should have one outcome. It should focus on one thing. No rotating banners. It's factually proven they don't work. You should have one outcome. When someone lands on your website...
Okay, guys, no rotating banners.
No rotating banners.
It's something that I loved, and then Steve told me, what the heck are you doing?
They don't work. It's factually proven. It's not just my opinion. It's just fact. They do not work. Mm-hmm. So you need one outcome, one thing to do on each page. So you have a landing page. So whatever you want someone to do, you have a landing page. And then the first thing you need is a clear headline. A headline, and this is what Tony Snow, he runs Creative Coach, he says this, that a headline should do 2 things. What I do and what I can do for you. That's it. That's simple. You should have a headline, because when I land on your site, you've got about 3 seconds to convince me that I'm in the right place. So I want to know what you do, and I want to know what's in it for me. And you will be amazed at just how many websites are out there that when you land on them, you're left to fend for yourself. Mm-hmm. There is no purpose. There's no direction. And I'm talking big websites. I did a webinar on this, and I'm doing another one on Tuesday, which I'm happy to give you the link you can share for people.
Yeah,
if they want.
I'm definitely to share the link on.
So you can go, because in the webinar, and you can watch the replay now. I actually on the webinar show you examples of good and bad sites, big sites and small.
I saw the plumbing website. I just logged in on Tuesday. I had 10 minutes, so I jumped in on the webinar.
Well, yeah, if you watch that replay, you'll see the plumbing website. You'll know exactly what Simone is talking about. You know, these are big companies, but they just haven't a clue what they're doing online. And so my point is that when you land on a website, you need to give people clarity that they're in the right place and that it's for them. The next thing you need to do is give them a call to action. You need to give them something that says, do this, click here, get started, press this. Twiddle that. You need to tell them exactly what they need to do, because when people land, they don't want to think. There's a brilliant book by a gentleman called Steve Krug. It's called Don't Make Me Think. The whole purpose of it is every time you have to think, it takes a bit of time. The more times you have to think, the more time it takes, the longer that decision process is. Mm-hmm. People don't want to think. People want things to be, people are thinking so much, and there's so much information they're being bombarded with. They kind of want you to just say, hey, here it is. This is what you need to do. Mm-hmm. Really simple. So once you've got that, and you're not upsetting your customers, and they know they're in the right place, or your visitors, they're in the right place. And once they know they're in the right place, they know where to go. The first thing you need to do after that is you need to capture their details. Okay. And I say capture, capture is probably not the best word. It's like, I'm going to capture you. But yeah, exactly.
Like you jump out from the screen.
Give me your details. But it's the point that if they leave your website, you don't know who they are. You have absolutely no way of connecting with them. And this is one of the reasons why I tell people they shouldn't have social media links at the top of their website. Because if you've got a social media link, let's say, for example, you've got a big Facebook button on the top of your website and I land on your website should have one outcome. And if you're in business, it's to convert me from a visitor to a customer. That's your outcome of your website. So if you've got a Facebook link at the top because you think it looks good, and I go on Facebook and I can see Simone's messaged me, and now I'm down the pub having a pint and I've completely forgotten that I was on your website. You can't take people away from if you're going to have social media links, have them, but have them in a footer down below. So they have to go through your stuff first and then they can find it. People don't mind scrolling to the bottom. People do that. But just don't have them at the top. Don't make it easy for them to leave. If they're on your website, they're on your website. You've got them there. The purpose is now you've got them. The hard work's done. You've got them. That's most of the battle. Now you just got to make sure you keep them. That's what you need to do. And the only way you're going to keep them is if you make it so simple that a 6-year-old could do it. That's it. It's got to be so simple. Once you do that, once you get to that point that it is so simple that they've landed on your website, now they've landed on your website, you've got your headline, you've got your subtitle, you've got your call to action. When they click on it, when they do something, you want some form of a gift, an opt-in, some value, something that you can give them that is going to make them want to, right? Not force them to do it, but make them want to give you their email address. Okay, it can be anything. And I suggest, yeah, exactly. If you're going to have an opt-in gift,
give me your email. Give me your... Okay, sorry, I got excited now.
But this is the thing, mate, because when you have your when you have their email address, then you can communicate with them. I'm not saying you should get their email and then sell to them. That's not right at all. But what you should do is you should start this process of engagement, of like, you know, you wouldn't go up to someone and say, buy this, would you? You go up to them and say, hi, you know, I'm so-and-so. I work for so-and-so and I'm selling this. Do you want to buy it? There's a process. You don't just jump straight in and give me your money. So you need to actually get to the point.
Is that how it works?
Not all the time. Sometimes it does. Depends what the service is.
I thought I was going out. I've been doing it wrong all the time.
Well, this is the thing, mate, is that when you actually get people onto your website, you need to add value. Now, here's the thing. Because it's probably going to be free, or it's going to be something that is going to be an opt-in or a lost leader or something that, you know, can be perceived as not that valuable to some people, people don't put a lot of effort into it. And this is the first major hurdle. If you look at my opt-in gift, if you look at what I do as part of my onboarding process, it is extensive. I give so much value away. It is insane. Everyone thinks I'm crazy. And that's exactly why I do it. Because I want to, here's the thing. If I don't put the effort into the opt-in gift, if I don't put the effort into the first thing that I create that you get from me, what is your opinion? What is your first initial opinion of me if the first thing you get from me is shit?
That you are exactly how your products are.
Well, what are you going to think? If the first thing I give you is shit, you're probably going to think that the next thing I give you is going to be shit.
Shit.
Do you know what I mean? So if you give them something, here's the thing. This is my philosophy. This is how I work. And I haven't learned this from anyone. This is just how I choose to work. I have one outcome. When I create something, I want people to say one word. That's it. And I focus on that one word.
What's that one word?
Well, I don't know if I'm allowed to say it. I mean, that would be giving away the game.
Is it? Ooh. Can we?
Well, I've got more likes than you, so yeah, we can talk about it. Okay. I've got one word, right? Whenever I build anything, whenever I'm thinking of a client, I have one word, and that's fuck. That's it. That's it. It's that one word. Because, and I'll tell you why. From a client's perspective, I want them to go, oh my God, you know, and from a competitor's perspective, I want them to go, fucking hell. That's it. I want people to be blown away to the point that they have to swear because there's nothing else that they can do. I want it to be that good. Like when you look at my book, I sell my book, yeah, but if you look, there's a book, there's a workbook, there's an interactive course, there's hundreds of videos, all comes included.
Yes.
It's intense. There is a lot of content.
It's
a
intense.
lot of content,
and it is exactly all you need.
But yeah, exactly. And people read it, and at the end of it, they're like, "Oh my god, you need to go and get this. This is amazing." I don't even market anymore. I don't need to market. This is why I didn't want to talk about marketing, because when you talk about marketing, everyone talks about, "Oh, you should buy leads and you should do this and you should do." I don't need to pay for adverts. Everyone markets for me. Everyone, just look on my Facebook wall. You can see recently how everyone has been amazing at helping me to market my webinar, market the stuff I'm doing, because people genuinely want to help me because they know that I give a shit. It's being genuine. When you're genuine to yourself, when you are, I'm going to give you value, people see that. They see through all the BS. They see through the hype. They see that you're genuine and you stand out.
The question is, I know I'm coaching a lot of coaches, speakers, and trainers, and I meet incredible people that have a great heart, and they just really want to give, and they are there for their clients and for their customers. And you can connect with them on a personal level. So what can I do to give the same value that I'm giving on a personal level to a person, maybe a potential client? What is one thing, just one thing that I could do to give that immense amount of value to get my clients or my potential clients to say, wow, like, I see that you really care, right?
Well, it's a great question. And this depends on exactly what it is you're doing. Because the main thing I would say is content creation is great, because when you create videos, when you create a journey, see, what you need to do is you need to say, right, who is my target audience? What is their problem? Because the only thing a business in its simplistic form is there's a problem, there's a solution, and your business is taking people from one to the other. Normally problem to solution, not the other way around.
Devices.
Yeah, there's not a good business model. You take people have got a problem, you give them a solution. So here's the thing. I'm gonna use this as an example. Let's say that you've got somebody who feels unhealthy. Okay, they've got low energy. Okay, so you've got someone that's got low energy. What you could do is you could say to them in your opt-in gift, hey, I'm going to give you something right now. These are 3 things that if you do right now, they're going to give you energy. Now that's an instant feeling of the outcome. If they haven't got energy, what they want energy.
Yes.
So if you can give them a snapshot, and I'm not saying just tell them to go and drink coffee and sugar, but if you can give them a sustainable way to get some energy, just some simple things that they can do, that if they were to do it, would boost their energy level so they feel better. Because once they feel better,
you're saying right now, which is 3 things, or you're talking about something specific that they can do to have a clear outcome.
Yeah, or it could be 1 thing. It doesn't have to be 3. It could be 7. It could be 10. It could be whatever resonates.
What would you choose? Would I say to something to do maybe 3 things, 1 thing?
I think 3 is good. 3 is the magic number.
5 things to do.
I mean, the thing is, when you start looking at 5, 7, 10, you can do it, but it's a bit overwhelming.
Right.
If people aren't getting somewhere because they've got a block for whatever reason, then the more stuff you give them, the less they're going to do. Ideally, if you can say, look, here's 1 thing. If you do this one thing, they may not do it there and then, but I tell you what, they'll get to a point where they'll go, I'm going to try that 1 thing. And they try and they go, oh my God, that worked. I want another thing. And
then they get to have the old 97. But it's just about getting them to exactly. It's
so whatever that opt-in,
overwhelm, yeah.
Whatever that opt-in gift is that you want their email, that opt-in gift has to give them value, and not just like any value. Like, I mean, I could give you, like, you could opt in, and I could give you anything. If it's not relevant to you, it could be valuable. It could be valuable to me or someone else, but it's not valuable to that person. It's worthless. And it's a lot of the time it's the perceived value. They have to see the value, because I could give you. There was a great social experiment that was done with this guy. He had a gold coin, and it was like solid gold. It was worth like £500 or something. Or it might have been worth more than that. I can't remember. £5,000, something stupid. Let's say 5,000 for the sake of this. So he had this solid gold coin that was worth £5,000, and he was going up to people saying, "Do you want this gold coin? It's £10." And people were like, No, no one give him a tenner for it, and it was worth something stupid like £5,000, because you've got to see the value in it. If you can't, if you knew how much that was worth, you go, yeah, I'd have it all day long.
Of course.
You've got to see the value in it. And it's the same with your gifts and your opt-ins. There's no point saying, oh, I'm going to give you this and this and this and this and this, because if the person doesn't see the value, it's worthless. You're better off giving one thing away that actually has an impact rather than building up all this hype and bullshit.
That's brilliant. So now, right now, I'm on your website. I'm on onlinemaster.co.uk. You can see also the website here on the chat on the right side of the screen that I pasted in there. What I want you to do right now, I want you to think, okay, Steve, I'm here on your website and I opted in. I got my gift and you deliver incredible value. Then what happens next? What's the next part of the onboarding process?
Great. That's a great question. So what you want to do then, you don't want to overwhelm people. What you need to do is you need to have, if you're in business and you're serious, you need a CRM system. You need something, and this is a game. This is all this is.
Okay, what is a CRM system for those of us that are not familiar with this?
That's right. I'm going to explain it. A CRM system is a content relationship management system. So all it basically is, in its simplistic form, is it is a load of boxes that are empty. First name, last name, email address, dog's name, how many children you've got, how much money you earn a year, whatever. You can create these fields. There's standard ones, date of birth, address, phone number, standard ones, website, social media links. But then you create your own, depending on what platform you use. And the whole point of business is it's a game. The aim of the game is to fill in as many boxes as you can. So when you start this game, to get into the game, you need an email address. If you haven't got an email address, you can't create this contact record. As soon as you create that email address, you'll then have two things. You'll have their email address and you'll have their IP address. And an IP address can normally tell quite a lot about a person. If you come to my website right now, I can tell where in the world you are. I can tell what machine you're using. I can tell what operating system you're using. So it gives me a lot of information about you already before we start. So that helps. Then once I've got your email address, I add that IP with your email. And then if I get your first name, now I'm starting to build a picture. The whole purpose is to build a picture, because the more you know about, everything's data. The more I know about someone, the more I can help them. How can you understand what someone's problem is if you don't know anything about them? So your goal in business is to fix a problem, is to solve a problem. That's your value. You know, and when you take someone from a problem to a solution, the length and the distance it takes to get from A to B, that's how much money you charge. It's as simple as that. If I can take you to A to B and that's a massive shift for you, and that's going to make a massive difference in your life, then I can charge more for it. If it's just a little jump, then it's not worth that much. So that's what you need to do. You need to build up this picture. And that's exactly what I do.
You build the picture. So if I'm having, for example, I'm just playing a bit the devil's advocate right now, because what I want to understand is, for me, as you know me, you've built my website. Me and technology, we are quite a good friend, but me and data,
well, and this is it. Data is the key. So this is it, right? When someone lands on your website, you start building up this picture of them. You've got their email address, you've got their name, you start building up this picture. Then what you do is you start really, really simply. Because you've got their details and you've given them the gift, you then follow up. So you may leave it 6 hours.
Okay, before you move on in that, the question I would love to ask you is, what system can you do for those of us that are listening to capture those data? Like, if I have a system, or I want to have a system that can give me maybe like a basic one.
If you want to start on a very basic model, the very basic model, you can do it in WordPress.
Okay.
You can do it within WordPress. And I would use Gravity Forms, which is a plugin, costs $39. And you can use Gravity Forms with WordPress, and you have got a basic CRM system. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll work.
Brilliant. Got it.
Information.
So got it. I want just to make it simple for someone who's starting out.
That's fine.
There's no Gravity Form. Great. Fantastic.
There's ways to do things. I'm not saying it's ideal, but you need to start somewhere.
You got to start somewhere. Exactly.
You also, at that point, you need a CRM system. You don't want to be sending out emails to everyone. You need to automate an email service. So what I would suggest is, like, MailChimp is something that people can use, but MailChimp in its own isn't going to help you. If you're going to use MailChimp, you need an addition that goes with it called Mandrill. Because here's the thing. MailChimp lets you segment your lists, lets you build lists. So you can put people into a list and then you can email them. So when someone opts in and they give you their email address, they go into a list. And just imagine a list is like a bucket. You want to make sure that bucket hasn't got any holes in it, remember? So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you keep checking in on that bucket. Make sure they've still got people in there. Make sure they're happy. They're not just sitting in the bottom going, help. So what you need to do is once they've got their opt-in gift, see, this is where people go wrong. This is really important. Most people will, once you've got your email that says, you know, you've got your free gift, the next thing they'll do is probably try and sell them something. Hey, you've got my free gift. Why don't you do this? Or they won't say anything. They won't say anything for 3 weeks. And then they'll go, I'm doing this live event next week. You should come. And then loads of people report them from spam and opt out their list. And they wonder why. It's because they don't know you. They've got an opt-in gift from you. If it wasn't that good, they've probably forgotten about you. And then you pop up asking them to do something. They're not going to want to do it. What I suggest, and this is what's really important, what I suggest you do is once that you have given them their gift, you set an automated message. This is where you use automation for about 6 to 12 hours later that just says, hey, whatever their first name is. And you can set it so it pulls their first name automatically. So it says, hey, Simone, I really hope you like your free gift. Look, I just want to check in with you quickly. Have you had a chance to look at it yet? Yes or no? Just click yes or click no. That's it. And then they will click on one of those things. Now, what will happen is one of 4 things will happen at that point. Either they won't open your email, and then you'll know they haven't. They'll open your email, but they won't click, and you'll know that. They'll click yes, or they'll click no. So you now have 4 things that have happened. Now, most people will ignore that. They'll just send another email. But this is where you're missing the key ingredient of software automation. If you've got a system that allows you to add a tag to someone's contact, when you have a CRM system, you need to have the ability to add tags. Right. And all a tag is for the purpose of this is like a sticky note. You put a sticky note and you say, said yes, and you put it on their account. And you can add as many tags as you want. I use Infusionsoft. That's what I use. And in fact, I've got a special deal at the moment. If you or anyone else wants it, I've got a really sweet deal. I've got a link. I'll send it to you.
So what are, for example, 3, we're talking about CRM here. And what are 3 CRM that people that are starting from scratch could use?
I'll answer that, but let me finish this point first, because otherwise it'll be confusing.
Brilliant.
When you have that tag, you can then say, right, they said yes, they said no. And you know, so if they said no...
And that's all automated.
Yeah.
All the tagging process is all automated.
It says, put in their email, get a gift. After they've gift, send them an email 6 hours later, ask them if they've looked at the gift. Did they say yes or did they say no? If they said yes, after 6 hours, send them another email. Awesome. After they've clicked yes, send them another email. It could be in an hour later. Awesome. What did you think of it? Did you enjoy it? Did it help you? Have you got any value from it? Thing that you could suggest that I could do to improve that gift. If they said no, then say, can I ask why? Is there any reason why? Is it just that you haven't got around to it yet? Look, I know you're busy. I'm busy as well. That's fine. Maybe you'd like me to give you some more time. I'll tell you what, I'll check in with you in 3 days on the XYZ day, just to see. And then you're holding them accountable now.
To make it simple, like it happens when you're really following up with a client in real life.
Make it a real message.
It's a real live experience where, for example, I'm calling a client that says, oh, I want some business coaching for my coaching business. And I say, okay, yeah, let's meet at this time. And then they didn't click maybe to book the session. And I say, hey, I see that you didn't book your session.
Follow-up sequence. And it's based on the tags that they have. So they have these tags. Put it this way. To give you an example, for my webinar.
Yeah.
People signed up for my webinar. When they signed up, they got a tag on their profile that said registered. Okay. Once they turned up, they got another tag that said attended. If they didn't turn up for the first 30 minutes, if they missed the first 30 minutes, they got a tag that says arrived late. If they leave before an hour, they get another tag that says left early. If they purchase something, they get purchased.
Love it.
If they didn't turn up, they got missed. If they watch the replay, they get a tag that says replay. So I can then send emails out specifically to them people, because here's the thing. It's just like when you start marketing to everyone. When you market to everyone, you attract no one. It's the same in your emails. If you have a generic, and this is what I talk about this in my book. If you have a generic email, it's not going to mean anything to anyone. If you have a specific email that's targeted to that person, that's relevant to them, that has context, if your email has context,
then they're going to be more likely to open, to engage with that, to consume the content.
Then they're going to talk to you, and then you can start asking them questions. So you can start asking them simple questions that they can answer easily. Hey, so I'm just curious, why did you look at GTeX? Are you interested in coaching, or are you interested in events, or is it something else?
I'm loving this interview, mate, and I just realized that we are actually on the 1 hour mark right now. It's like time is flying, and you're giving out so much value and so much content. So what I would love from you right now, as you said, last question was 3 CRM systems.
3 CRM systems. Okay.
You have 1 minute to do that, and then please share with us how our visitors, the people that are listening to this on our podcast, on our YouTube channel, wherever you are live now, how can they get in touch with you?
Perfect.
And what you have for them, because I know your systems are incredible, and I will recommend anyone from personal experience that I had by working with you, mate. So
I would say it's 3 CRM systems. So, okay, so let's go budget. Okay, if you're on a tight budget and you do not have a lot of money, then you may be looking at, there are 2 CRM systems that you can get that I recommend starting on. The first of which is called intercom.io, which is actually what I use on my website for my chat box. But it is also a CRM system as well, and it is brilliant, really good. It's about $50 a month. Really good startup system. If you've got a little bit more money you can afford to spend, then maybe you'll look at something called Active Campaign. Active Campaign is probably about $150 a month, about $100 a month, something along those lines. But it's about $100 a month to get on board. The problem is, as you scale and as you get bigger, it gets expensive quickly. The next stage up, the third one, I would say Infusionsoft or Entreport, something like that. That is what I use. It costs about $250 a month, and there's about a $500 sign-up fee. So I would say that, and I have a special deal with Infusionsoft at the moment. I shouldn't announce it yet because it's a Boxing Day deal. I'm actually going to send an email out on Boxing Day, but if anyone is interested,
go for it,
and they get in touch with you,
yes,
tell them to put them in touch with me, private message me, connect with me however they can, and I will send the link. But it's not public knowledge until Boxing Day. But it basically means I can get Infusionsoft cheaper than you'll get it if you went through the official channels. And I've got a lot of extra bonuses thrown in with it as well, like extra contact records. What you want to look at with a CRM system is how many contact records you get and how many emails you can send, because they charge based on contact records and emails that you send. Right. So you want to make sure. So I think in Infusionsoft on a basic package, you get like 10,000 of each. And I think on the version that I've got something like 500,000. So it's like,
not bad.
Yeah, I've managed to do a really sweet deal with this company. So yeah, it's cool. So yeah, I can do that. But that's what I recommend. I use Infusionsoft personally. That's what I recommend. I won't touch anything else. It just makes life easier. And I couldn't afford it. The first month I got Infusionsoft, I stuck it on a credit card and I thought, shit, how am I going to pay that off? But you set yourself a new standard and you find a way to do it. Like I said, if you're serious about business, then you should be allocating somewhere in a region of between $200 to $500 a month for systems. Yeah,
because that will make your life much easier in terms of your time, your money. I have the same budget about $500, £500.
And I remember the thing is, I remember when you started, and you didn't have this budget, you found a way to get started, and then we spoke and we had a meeting, and I told you what it cost, and you was like, I'm not in that position yet, but I told you what to do to get started. You went away, you got started, you built it and built it and built it. You spent like 12 to 18 months building it up, and now you're in that position. And the problem is, people go in, they go, oh, I want that system now, but I don't want to pay for it. Look, either pay for it or work your way up.
Do something with us, like something that is free. You start with MailChimp. Is something that gets you started.
You can start off
it's there, free, and it gets you. It can get you so far, but it gets you somewhere, right? Yeah, exactly. It's better. Something is better than nothing.
Exactly.
And then you evolve along the process.
That's it. And what you've got to realize is every time that you change system, you have to learn a new system. You have to import everything into a new system. So just get the best system you can to start with. And and then just find a way to make it work. These systems aren't meant to cost you money. They're meant to make you money. They've got to have a return on their investment. If you're spending $500 a month on systems, then you want to be making at least $501 back. It just makes sense that they should be paying for themselves. If they're not paying for themselves, you're not using them right.
I agree with you. Well, Steve, thank you very much. I'm going to get you before the next year. I'm going to get you in another interview because I loved it so much. So I'm going to drag you on Blab again and get you all dressed up with your white shirt and your black suit and your funky glasses and your astronaut. I love them, man. You look so sexy. All right. Okay. So if people want to get in touch with you, how can they get in touch with you?
Great question. I am actually doing a live webinar on Tuesday, and I am going to go through the 3 mistakes that most people make on their website. And also I'm going to go through in a bit more detail the 10 things you need to be successful. So if anybody's interested in that, just go to onlinemastery.co.uk/live. onlinemastery.co.uk/live. You can actually go there now if you want to. And the interesting thing is that if you do that, if you go there, you'll get to see my process and my systems.
Here we are. I put here, for those of you that are watching live, guys, I put the link /live. So you can go right there right now and see how Steve does his thing.
Well, you can join me. I'm going to be doing a 90-minute webinar with a live Q&A session afterwards. I'll also be giving a free gift away on the call. So if you're there, you'll get another little present. What I would love to do, if it's all right, Simone, is
go for it.
People have endured this for the last 60 minutes. I think it's only right that we compensate them with something.
Go for it, man.
If people want to go to, this is another link if you can put it in, I'm sorry about this, but if you go to planyourwebsite.co.uk/free-gift. So it's planyourwebsite.co.uk, which is my book. But then if you go to free-gift, or /free-gift, you get the first chapter of my book and you can read it. And the first chapter is the most important. That's all about the strategy. It's all about who you are, who your target audience is. And it'll also give you access to the workbook. So you can go and get the workbook. So I would
here we are.
I would highly recommend you go and have a look at that.
The link is here and also will be put. Can we share the link also in the blog?
Yeah, please do, mate. Please do.
Brilliant. Okay, so I'll make sure.
And here's the thing as well, just on the last thing there, when you look at that free gift, I do things differently. And everything I've told you tonight, I do things differently. When you go to that gift, you'll see how I do things. I do not ask for your email address. And so you may look at it and go, but this is meant to be an opt-in. It's not, because as you'll see on that page, a free gift, if I'm saying you, I'm giving you a free gift, then it should be free. If I'm asking for your email address, it's not a free gift, it's a transaction. Maybe a free transaction, but it's a transaction. It's not a gift. So if you're going to give someone a gift, give them a gift. Okay, if it's a gift, the gift should be free. If it's free, then you
can just click that and then they can read it.
You can read it. I don't want your email address. I don't want your name. You click the first chapter, read the whole first chapter. You don't even know to tell me who you are.
Brilliant. And
because I know that once you've read it, you'll want to read more. I'm that confident that it's that good that you'll want more. So I don't need your email address because I'm going to get it because you're going to give it to me one way or the other. I'm that confident it's that good. And that's what you need to be in your business. For your opt-ins, you need to be that confident. It needs to be that good.
That's brilliant. So guys, make sure you follow Steve, and also you can connect with him on Facebook, Steve Woody. You can go on his website, which is onlinemastery.co.uk. Any question you have about your website,
connect with me. I'm on there.
He says is always there, and you can send him a chat.
They're going to test me now. You watch. I'll get like 4 o'clock in the morning. They'll be like, Steve, and I'll be like, yeah. They'll be like, really?
I'm stuck on WordPress. Okay, guys, for those of you that have been watching this live, thank you very much for coming here tonight. As you remember, thank you very much, Steve Woody, for your incredible 1 hour of pure standing up for. I love you, man. I love you, man. I'm chilling here in my chair with my banner on the back. Mate, thank you very much, guys.
You're welcome, brother.
If you enjoyed, for those of you that watch live, that you enjoyed, make sure you spread the word follow us, me and Steve, on here on Blab, and make sure you connect with us. And we are live every single Thursday at 8 o'clock, from 8 to 9. So make sure you come along and spread the word. For those of you that are really serious to build a successful and thriving coaching, speaking, training business that can really make a massive impact in the world. From me and Steve is everything. Guys, thank you very much. Lots of love.
Bye-bye.